Let's jump into the first story. Check this out. It's from Sky News a couple days ago. Police woman bitten on the arm while explaining COVID-19 lockdown rules. Greater Manchester Police released photos of the injury suffered by the 21-year-old PC after she was attacked in Rockdale. All right, I'm going to give you guys who are watching a warning. We're going to show, you can see the bite almost on screen. I'm going to show it just so you know. She got bit.
Yeah,
that's a bite, dude. That's a legit bite.
Jeez.
You can also see how the teeth are crooked because you can see like how the lines are.
Yeah.
This was like a ravenous bite.
Yeah.
So we were actually thinking, like, will she now get infected with COVID from a bite, considering it's a respiratory illness?
I think so.
You think so?
Well, I mean, did the person have COVID? I mean, we don't even know, actually.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Because they were just explaining the
It was
quarantine
a guy.
situation.
A man did it. He bit a female officer on the arm.
Heck, dude.
Yeah.
And she was explaining the rules. Now, here's the crazy thing.
Toxic masculinity, I'm telling you.
Wait, hold on.
It's real.
Why would he bite her?
I don't know.
Two officers were punched and then bitten. Because what was he doing that he became that aggressive? Unless zombification is phase 2.
I mean,
so,
you got to think.
I'm kidding, by the way.
Was it just grabbing her arm and biting, or was it like a tussle? I didn't. So
Right,
I guess he
right.
punched two other cops. So they were probably like wrestling, and he just bit. I mean,
There's a couple other stories real quick, and then we'll read what happened.
All
Check this
right.
out. We have this one from Crime Online. They say quarantine man runs naked from his house, bites woman to death during coronavirus lockdown.
right.
yeah.
So
So-
the 80-year-old woman or something, right?
How often do you hear stories about people biting other people to death? I mean,
I don't know, but there's a lot of earthquakes all the time in California,
Right,
And
we
now
focus on
everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
So is it that people bite normally, and it's just
Krakatoa
like
erupted.
a human thing to bite?
I think that's it right there. So I did a segment. Krakatoa erupted. You know
Right.
what Krakatoa is?
Yeah, yeah.
It's famous. 1883. It was heard actually 3,000 miles away, and a bunch of people died from the shockwave. And so now there's news coming out that Krakatoa erupted, and people are all going like, "Oh man, the end of the world because this huge volcano is erupting." It erupted apparently 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nobody cared.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was like, oh, right. But now that we have all this crazy stuff going on, people are bored.
But man, those pictures are really cool. If you haven't checked them out, there's like lightning
wait, man.
flying out of
Oh,
the
yeah, it's
top.
so cool.
It's pretty,
We're not done.
Pretty sweet.
Check this out.
Hold on.
This is a story from April 4th.
See, this bugs me. this
Coronavirus
one.
patient bites nurse's face after she tried to stop him escaping from quarantine. Dude, she got bit on the eye.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's crazy, man.
That's a really terrible spot to get bit.
But it looks like her eye is okay. She got bit.
Yeah.
Now
man.
check this out.
Jeez.
UK cops warn suspects are using coronavirus as a weapon. Now, is that because they're consciously trying to bite and spit on people, or because they're zombies?
Let's go with number 2.
Let's just
yeah, let's
pretend
do.
because it's more fun. But what's funny about all these stories is that, of course, they're not zombies.
Of course not.
But this is literally how a zombie apocalypse would happen if it was.
Yep.
Like we were talking about this before, like Shaun of the Dead. You'd see news reports of people getting sick, of someone biting somebody, and you'd think nothing of it. But let's read this first story and figure out why exactly she got bit. They say, Greater Manchester Police released photos of the injury suffered by the 21-year-old PC after she was called to reports of a man causing disturbance in Rockdale. Officers tried to explain to the man that he should not be going to other people's homes following the government guidelines to tackle the COVID pandemic, the force said. While trying to engage with the man, 2 officers were punched, and the 21-year-old was then bitten. She attended hospital following the incident on Thursday evening before being discharged to recover at home. Days earlier, she had been delivering Easter eggs to children while out on patrol. Okay, this story's got so much wrong with it. Wow. Oh, my. Christopher Hill, 29, of no fixed abode, has been charged with 2 counts of assault by beating of an emergency worker and 1 count of criminal damage.
Is that basically saying he's a homeless guy?
Yes.
Yep, that's exactly
so let's
what I'm
actually
saying. So
slow
polite.
down for a
Yeah.
second.
So polite.
The cops were trying to tell a homeless guy that he had to go home. And then they try jamming in this thing where it's like, she was giving out Easter eggs to children.
Right.
I don't care. That's total propaganda, trying to make us sympathize. Look, you already got my sympathy. Dude bit you.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Crazy homeless guy. But this is nuts, man. Did you see that there was a viral tweet where the police in some part of the UK were like, "Think having a picnic in the middle of nowhere and you'll be safe? Think again.
Oh, yeah.
We'll pop out of the shadows and get you."
Right. I saw that.
Yeah. What the,
What's going on?
dude?
Oh,
What do
my
they think
gosh.
homeless people are supposed to do?
What home?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go home.
Go home where?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Where do I go, officer?
They said
Yeah.
they're telling him he can't be going between people's houses or something. What is that supposed to mean? What does it say?
I don't know. The more we read into this, the less I trust it.
Going to
Confused.
other people's homes. What is he supposed to do? He is due to appear at the Manchester Magistrates Court on Saturday. GMP Chief Constable Ian Hopkins described the attack on an officer during the coronavirus pandemic as just the lowest of the low, writing on Twitter, "Words fail me when it comes to some people's behavior."
You know what? All I can think is, harumph, I say.
Right.
How dare you, sir?
Yep.
We were trying to corral
what to
you
do.
to do what we wanted you to do, and you said no.
I know.
He said pictures of the officer's bite injury were quite graphic, but he hoped they helped people understand the vicious nature of this attack. I guess because we're in the pandemic,
Okay.
everything is related to the pandemic.
Everything is.
So if someone gets bit, they're going to be like, the pandemic. Oh, you know?
But zombies, they're real. It's happening.
It's finally
But it's like,
happening.
I actually wonder, we should have looked, maybe we should have done this before, looking up the stats for like how often
I
a
can look
cop
it up.
is bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, look up bite crime.
Bite crime.
Bite crime. I don't know what else you
Have you
look
ever,
for. What do you
have
look
you ever
for?
said that before?
No, I
in your
didn't.
life.
Brand new
Have you ever
sentence.
heard it? Has anyone? Bite crime.
Lydia, pull up bite crime statistics.
I'm gonna Google exactly that.
Bite crime. And
Bite
while you do,
crime.
I mean, this one, if there's any story. So there, first of all, the first story we ever saw about this, I think was in India, where a guy went to a checkpoint and they tried to stop him, and then he like went nuts, ripped his clothes off, and started biting people.
What's
And-
up with the ripping the clothes off thing? I don't get that.
I don't
Seems to be a
know.
Trend.
I don't get that.
There's
What?
something about like being crazy and being naked that go hand in hand.
It's very exhilarating. I
Yeah, I don't know. It just gets the adrenaline pumping. You get all amped up and.
Just, I need to feel the air on my skin.
No, yeah. Remember the Coney 2012 guy?
No, what was that?
No, what
Remember?
was
Do you
that?
remember what Coney 2012 was?
No.
This video came out. Was that in 2012 when that came out?
Yeah, it was 20.
It was like the stupidest documentary I'd ever seen because it starts with this thing about like social media and it's like we can all come together and share ideas and it shows like the globe and like people with phones and then all of a sudden it turns into something about this very specific warlord in Uganda that I don't care about.
Okay.
And they were like, now that we have your attention and we did this very thought-provoking piece on social media, let's all team up to go after Coney, a guy who was in all likelihood dead. They didn't tell you that part. But so what happened was this thing goes viral. It was the fastest viral video in history at the time. The dude who made it, like a week later, was found in the middle of a street naked, jerking it, and like pounding on the ground while doing it.
What?
Something goes hand in hand with being crazy and being naked. I don't know.
Jeez.
I don't know. Maybe there's a scientist who can break down for us.
Is
I
there
don't know.
any indication that he was biting anyone?
No.
Right.
Just curious.
He was
Seriously.
pulling off while slamming the ground. That's what he was
That
doing.
is weird.
With the same motion, or was it like
Two hands.
Multiple.
One hand was slamming, one hand was pulling.
I don't actually want to know.
No, either.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
look,
the heck?
I mentioned that story in India because we have this other one. Quarantine man runs naked from his house, bites woman to death.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like whoa.
Yeah, he bit an 80-year-old woman. Is
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
He bit her jugular or something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and it's weird
Carotid
because
artery.
he just like saw her standing there.
Oh, this was in India too.
Yeah, I don't get this at all, man.
I mean, the only two naked people were in India. The guy in the UK wasn't naked. Maybe there's something about being naked and being in India.
Well, there was a lady who walked into an airport completely naked and tried to buy a ticket somewhere.
In India?
No, it was here in the U.S. I think.
Huh.
Yeah, she got in big trouble, obviously, but
Where did she hide her? Where did she hold her credit card?
I don't want to know.
In the crack?
Don't want to know. I don't even know if she had one. I'm scared to
How you-
ask.
how you gonna purchase a card?
How are you planning to do this?
Oh, man.
I do not know.
It's crazy. The man allegedly bit the woman in the neck. The
Oh,
woman was taken to
dude.
the hospital but died 3 days later. So then we have the nurse. I'm not going to read through all these stories because,
I
you know,
mean-
we are being a bit silly, but this is serious.
No, definitely it is. But at the same time, it's like, what are our sharpest objects? If you don't have nails, like
Yeah.
your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of not really that surprising that it's like people's last resort to bite someone, because
You know-
if they're trying to wrestle you down and they got your arms and your head is free, what are you gonna do? You're gonna bite the closest thing, and it's probably that woman's arm.
Oh, man.
You know.
I read this, and it's probably not true, but I was reading this. It was probably on Reddit, so, you know, of course it's true, right, if it's on Reddit.
Sure.
It was something about humans were evolving venomous bites because we have, like, the dirtiest mouths of any creature on the planet.
I heard
And a
that,
human
yeah.
bite is, like, guaranteed to become infected.
Oof.
So at the very least, humans have infectious bites.
So it says there are 250,000 human bites in the U.S. like total.
You actually found statistics on bike
yeah,
crime.
So I was trying.
Amazing.
Okay, so it didn't come up under bike crime, but I was able to find something.
Oh, that's a little sad.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It was sad. The one thing that came up when I was googling bike crime was McGruff the crime dog. So I figured that wasn't what we were looking for.
McGruff.
No,
I was like,
no.
that
Take a
wasn't
bite
it.
out of crime.
Yeah. So 25% of bites get infected because human mouths are disgusting.
Whoa.
Yeah. So take that.
Every
Yeah.
time I hear bite crime, I just imagine some dentist, kind of like a Batman fights crime as the dentist bites crime.
Dentist bites.
Well,
I don't know.
Scruff McGruff takes a bite out of
It's
crime.
a little
Right,
rough.
yeah.
Scruff
we're
McGruff, bro.
working on it. It's brand new.
Okay. So look, you know what, man? If in 3 months, we've got like our sleeves ripped off and like shotguns and like leather boots and we're running through the city and zombies are chasing after us, we'll look back on this and be like, we were so dumb. We saw it coming. But in all seriousness, it's just people biting people.
Yeah.
But the actual seriousness of this is that UK cops are warning people are actually using coronavirus as a weapon. So
Oh, man.
whether or not they're mindless zombies, they're bad people who.
How are they explaining that they're coughing on people or what? Like,
So let's see this:
I don't get-
spitting, coughing, and attacking. Yeah, the
rude.
Essex Police Assistant Chief Constable Paul Wells issued a warning Wednesday after 2 Saturday incidents in Lee-on-Sea and Ongar, where cops were coughed on or bitten as they made arrests. More bites.
it is more bites.
How often do cops get bit? Can you look that up?
I'm trying
Or
to-
is that the same report?
No, this is from April 2nd, and the one who got bit was from April 11th.
Oh,
Which means-
it
What
is
the
different
heck?
stories.
People keep getting bit.
People are biting maybe more than usual.
What's going on?
I don't know the facts here, but
But you were right. Like a cop's arresting somebody, right?
Yeah,
So they
exactly.
grab him and the guy bites their arm.
Right.
That probably makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I don't feel like that's that surprising.
No,
you got
it
someone
kinda
who's
is.
enraged,
Wait.
seeing red.
I'd imagine that if this was that common, cops would wear things on their arms to avoid getting bitten. Like if it was that common, they'd all do this. Like, oh, I don't want to get bit. I'm going to arrest somebody. Better wear long sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't,
Like
which says to me they
Kevlar
don't.
arms.
Not
Yeah,
even that. A
seriously.
sweater.
Huh.
Long
shirt.
sleeves, yeah.
Yeah, it's not really gonna stop teeth.
No, but it's not going to pierce the skin.
Slow it down. Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
I mean, look, it'll hurt. You'll get bruised. But I'm wondering because look at this picture of this cop. He's wearing short sleeves,
He is. Yeah.
which says to me they don't expect to get bitten. So this is something crazy. If people are using coronavirus as a weapon and they're biting, at the very least we can say the bites are up and the police are warning about it. Right?
Well, the fact that they're warning about it is saying something. It's like, so we're getting a little bit of like an official thing from cops going, hey, they're starting to bite us.
Starting to bite.
Something's changed here.
Whoa,
man.
dude.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe totally not COVID related,
probably not.
but pandemic related. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like if there was any pandemic where people were sick, because I've seen videos where the people are like, they'll say they have it and they'll start spitting at you, so
Yeah.
they know that you're worried about infection. There was actually, I think it was on Reddit, is Unethical Life Pro Tips. Do you ever see that subreddit?
Mm-mm.
It's basically, there's like life pro tips.
Okay.
Where it's like, clean your dishes as you cook and you won't have to do the dishes anymore or something like that.
That's a really good tip, by
It
the
is.
way.
Yep. Clean
If
as
you
you go.
don't do that, do it. Trust me, it makes cooking so much better. Anyway, let's not get
Unethical,
sidetracked.
unethical life pro tips was like, if you get pulled over, just start coughing and say it's because you have COVID and they'll leave you alone. They actually won't.
No.
You'll probably get detained even longer.
Yeah.
But that's the joke.
Well, now they're getting people for just going out of their house. So if you go out of your house and you claim you have COVID,
You're in
you're a
huge
terrorist
trouble.
now.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean, they're basically going there, right? I mean, they've already said that it's terrorist threats or terrorist attacks when the woman coughed on the fruits and veggies.
It was terror.
Right. So
yeah,
if you start coughing like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's a terrorist threat towards a cop.
Well, that's kind of like a biological weapon, right?
I mean,
If you
Dude.
know that you have it.
yes,
I
that's
don't
like the
trust-
point.
I don't
They say it was like a
trust doing
biological
that.
agent.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
things are getting crazy, man. So where we live, there's already been, I think, 3 arrests we've talked about. There was I mentioned this the other day. It was a couple people walking. The cop said, "Hey, you can't be out," and then they yelled something like, "F you." So the cop arrested them. But we went to the store the other day, and there was a sign up that said, "Public ordinance: you have to wear a mask in public. You can't go out." And like all of these retail shops that were supposedly like I got an email from all these shops saying like, we're doing curbside delivery, come on down, just tell us what you need, we'll go get it for you. Now they're all closed. Even the hardware store was closed. So it seems like things have definitely gotten crazier or quieter, whichever one you want to, look at.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.